The number that have reduced has overburdened the remaining justices of that court.
Yes, it's Peace TV on today's episode, and practically we're talking about Jibrin, who recently made a statement connecting with the judgment which has been passed lately by the tribunal and now is about to be passed by the Supreme Court. Now he's trying to explain that the actual justice on which we have left to the Supreme Court or the courts system or the judiciary is seen to be remaining not even tangible, because his statement whereby we can't even get a tangible justice from the Supreme Court is kind of messy and unexpected by the state, because at this point it means that the people and the citizens involved are actually in trouble. But all the same, I don't really have much to say. I would like you to watch the video and hear what he has to say, what Jibrin has to say connecting with the judicial system and the tribunal connecting with the judgment they give on this February 25th, 2023 presidential election, and the Supreme Court on what they are about to say and the questions they have been recently asking, if they are trying to be one-sided or they are focusing on the actual justification involved. But all this, I'm like you to watch the video next and tell me what you think about it at the comment section. It's Peace TV. Thanks for watching.
I'm wondering why the power that be or the authorities that are responsible for appointing the justices of the Supreme Court are not doing what is expected to be done. Because by Section 230 of the Nigerian Constitution, the Supreme Court of Nigeria consists of the Chief Justice of Nigeria and such other number of justices of that court, not exceeding 21, as may be prescribed by the National Assembly. And this court had consistently had witnessed the reduction in numbers of their lordships, either for those who have retired, who had reached the constitutional mandatory retirement age of 70, or those who unfortunately died in the line of duty, like my Lord Honorable Justice C.C. Nweze, who just died at 64. And so the load of work, the volume of work in the Supreme Court, from my little knowledge, I think Nigerian Supreme Court is about the only Supreme Court in the world that hear all manner of appeals, including argument as to whether or not a goat was properly slaughtered or not. If you listen to my Lord Honorable Justice Amina Augie when she retired, it was part of what his Lordship said in that valedictory court section. And so when we begin, when people are complaining that the Supreme Court is not working or the Supreme Court is not coming out with jurisprudence that are sound and all of that, you will begin to wonder how these men and women of considerable age are coping with the volumes of appeal that come from all courts of appeal. Right. All the courts in Nigeria appealed, including whether the quit notice given to tenants and landlord, appeals from magistrate court to high court to court of appeal, up to Supreme Court. So when you have your case in the Supreme Court, if you get an early date, say if you file a case today and you have a case, a date in 2030, then you should count your star. So the only case that travels fast to Supreme Court and concludes in the speed of light are political cases. And I think Parliament seems to have amended their laws in partisan considerations of their interests, contrary to the interests of Nigerian people who also deserve justice. So we must find a way to unburden the burden of the Supreme Court and limit the number of appeals that go to the Supreme Court. But Nigerians are always not satisfied that cases are decided at the Court of Appeal or High Court because of a number of factors, and we must deal with it to reduce the burden of the work in the Supreme Court.